What's going on, guys? This would be the Big 10 video. Been struggling a little bit for the energy and the vibes, so we wanted today to get into something a little bit more technical and give you more understanding of pretty much how golf fitness works and how our programs work, because that's how we design them, guys. All right, so with the Big 10, we've been seeing some incredible changes, we've seen some really cool gains, but how do the programs give you those benefits, guys? All right, so as the world of fitness in golf changes and develops, these are all the things that you're going to get more and more aware of. We're going to be talking about periodization, adaptation, and basically stimulation in terms of your training for different levels of changes relative to your physicality, to your body, to your skill set, and everything that goes into playing good golf. All right, so in terms of the Big 10 and in terms of across the season, what we have to do is choose the right time to look for adaptation. So that's where you're going to build your strength. That's where you're going to change your body, and that's what adaptation really is. Okay, so at this kind of time, we're going to be overloading the body. We're going to be looking at strength sets, which are going to be, generally speaking, lower on volume, higher on intensity, which is going to be load. Okay, so here we actually ask the muscles to adapt to a stimulus. That means they have to grow and build that strength. Okay, why is this important? Because everything is predicated on strength itself. Your basic movement patterns, standing up, requires the strength to do so, and obviously that transcends through all different types of movements, and specifically your golf swing. So at this time, we will tend to program these in during the off season, okay? And that is the kind of stereotypical way to train for golf fitness, is to do everything in the off season. However, that does not tell the whole story, and that also does not lead to optimal performance. Okay, so during those off-season times, we're going to be looking at building strength, specifically in the lower body, the posterior chain, and basically everywhere where we develop power, force, and really build our golf swing. Okay, you're still going to do some work in the upper body, because we're talking about joint integrity, we're talking about longevity, and your muscles, your body, you have to be able to stand up to the rigors of the golf swing, which does really require an awful lot, not just the ability to rotate. Okay, so how we then take this strength into performance is where the periodization comes in. Okay, so we're going to have a strength period, whether that's going to be within a microcycle, macro cycle. You can change it up, guys. Right? There's a lot of different ways to create the right kind of stimulus for this. Okay, but we're going to build that strength, whether it's going to be deadlifts, squats, etc. Our example is the deadlift. Okay, what we do, we go through that cycle, we build strength, we see progress, and then we go into a power phase. All right, again, how we design these cycles is why we do what we do, guys. Right, that's why you should follow the programs, because they're pretty damn effective. Okay, so once we go into a power cycle, instead of going low volume, high percentage where we're really struggling through those reps, we're going to go more along the lines of mid volume and take that weight down. All right, so this is where we start to learn about percentages. Your power percentage, really we're looking generally between 75 to 85%. Okay, so the load is going to be heavy, it's going to be a challenge to move it. However, because of our strength base, once you take that 15% or more off, you're going to move a large load fast, and that is where power really comes into it. All right, that's where we start to get the neurological patterns, the sequencing to start to move in a way where we're going to see that real output. Okay, so when we go strength to power, you're going to see, again, percentage of the lift, and we're going to start to compound that with ballistic and explosive movements. So our example here is going to be the deadlift again. We go from that 100% down to that 75 to 85% window, and we're going to couple that up with box jumps. Okay, so you hit the deadlifts, the muscles are fired up, you're moving fast, everything's ready to go. You then go straight into a set of jumps. The mind, the body connection, how we use the ground is all lit up. The musculature starts to learn those patterns, and power can be developed. And this is something we've proven time and time again, because as we've shown, our swings are just getting better and better over here. Okay, so going through these examples, obviously the final phase there is then going to be speed. Okay, pretty much as you're following on these cycles, you're thinking about the time of the year. We want to go through a certain competitive phase in the power cycle. you're then going to go into the speed cycle, guys. All right, so similar way, we're going to increase the reps, bring down the load even more. 70% or less is going to be a good way to think about it. And now you're moving really fast, all right? So the load is going to feel pretty light, again, because of the work we've already put in. You're going to be able to rip it off the ground. You're going to be able to move as well as you can do. And we can change it away from a deadlift into something more like a power clean, kettlebell swings, or sumo deadlift high pull, which is going to change the stimulus. It's going to mean there's less overall stress on the body. So we're not looking for adaptation, we're looking for performance, okay? Minimize fatigue, maximize output, and this is where performance lies for the best golfers in the world, all right? So again, we're going to compound this with other movements, and this is where we get a little bit more skill-based, okay? So we think about the sequence of the body and how you get through the motion of the golf swing. Here, we're going to go with the light, we're going to go into the power clean, we're going to match it up with med ball slams, okay? We're going to go with the step to rotate. This requires all of those things that we just talked about. It's going to be a speed motion, but also the skill comes into it because we're starting to use the feet, we're starting to use the sequence of the golf swing, and that's where we start to see these gains, guys, okay? So that is a very simple breakdown in terms of how we look at periodization. Whether it's a shorter phase or all the way through the year, we can create the right kind of stimulus to have the body exactly where we need it at a given time. Obviously, we're going to require some rest in there, and you're going to need to retest and keep that strength base. These are all things that we put into our daily GOLFWOD programming, and it's hard to really replicate, it's hard to get into one video, because there's so many different factors. We're not only looking at strength, power, and speed, we're also thinking about accuracy, coordination, balance, which comes into using the free weights, the dumbbells, the kettlebells, the bands, to improve all of your movement patterns. But we're also looking at the psychological and the technical, okay? You have to have the right mindset, you have to have the energy and the application and enjoyment of your training to keep going, and a clear understanding of how it transfers into your game. So if you look at my swing over the past few years, we've seen a pretty significant jump, guys, okay? So this is a little less than a year ago. Going through these cycles, going through the GOLFWOD programming, I'm always testing, I'm always learning to see exactly what's best for myself, for the athletes around the world getting after it. And over that time, as you can see from the videos, I've gained around 10 kilos. We've also gained around 10 mile an hour club head speed, guys, all right? So previously, we were sitting around the 115 to 118, pretty standard kind of swing. Now, we've topped out 127.5, and we're only getting faster, guys, all right? So check out the difference in the videos. You can build muscle, you can build strength, and develop your swing. At the same time, you gotta have consistency, you gotta have a plan, and you gotta have the GOLFWOD programs, guys, right? Because that is what's working for me, all right? So it's hard to get all of this into one video. However, we just about did, guys, all right? So check out those different cycles, see how we go from the heavy deadlifts down into the lighter deadlifts matched with the box jumps, into power cleans, med ball slams. You can see the clear correlation between strength, power, and then speed, which starts to bring in technicality, complexity, and skill, all right? Lots to it. Hopefully you're taking some kind of note of all this and you understand exactly what we're trying to get out of our programs, because one of the biggest aims for us is to literally level up the world of golf fitness, all right? We want to change the game, we want to change the industry, and we're just about doing that, guys, all right? So, if you haven't already, head over, grab a program, make sure you're using these workouts in the off season, develop yourself both physically and technically, and get that GOLFWOD mindset going as well, guys, all right? Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, and golf strong.